All right, here we go. We're here. Hello. Welcome everyone. It's a nice Sunday afternoon. I'm very glad you all are here. Very glad. I know Sundays are busy for people, but I love to go live on Sundays because I know a lot of people like to rest and craft. So I'm excited and nervous, very nervous, because today I have one of my favorite people joining us. And when I told my husband I was nervous, he said, but it's Heidi. Heidi's fun. And I was like, okay, you're right. So let's bring Heidi in. Mike, can you bring Heidi in? Here she is.
I do love to have fun. Hello.
I know.
Hello. And you know, we've lost so many people today to football. I think football season has officially started. So those of you who are not watching football get to watch a one-on-one live class with Jennifer. I freaking love it. Thank you for doing this, Jennifer. This is like my dream.
Hey, if people want to watch football, there's always a replay of this. They can always come back.
Well, they can replay football too, or watch it on the news the next day.
That's true. Reed is Reed a football fan? Because Reed is here, right?
In a purple jersey, sitting behind the camera.
Oh shoot!
No, we're good.
I feel bad now.
We're great. We timed it perfectly.
Okay.
Yep. His team won, and he hightailed it in here. So thank you, Reed, for being here on a Sunday.
Absolutely.
Good. We appreciate it. So thank you all for being here. So we're doing something a little different today. I asked Heidi if she wanted to go live with me, and she very enthusiastically said yes. And then I thought about it. I thought it'd be fun if I taught her, like I came up with a couple cards and I'm teaching her the technique. So I gave her some homework that she had to do, and then just a little, but it's fun homework, right? And then I'm going to teach her and she's going to make it live. So we're winging it. We're hoping, because as you know, when you first learn a new technique, sometimes things go astray, but that's okay. It's all part of the learning. So we're hoping this goes well today, right?
Yes, I want to forewarn the people who are watching, because I have been in a lot of classes with Jennifer, not where I was the only student, but through the years. I mean, we've been doing this 20 some years, Jennifer. I have taken my fair share. I would always sign up when Jennifer would teach classes. I would always take her classes. And I just want to let the audience know that it is not Jennifer if I go rogue. I a lot of times go rogue. That's just my style. If you saw me with Nina Marie Trapani a couple months ago, I was putting my drops in a different place than she was putting her drops. And it was okay. It was no offense to Jennifer. I will do my best to conform, but I am by nature not that conforming. So I might go a little bit rogue, but I did do the homework. So that was good. Thank you, Jennifer, for getting me all prepared.
Yeah, I probably should have made sure you liked the colors, because I kind of forced you into the colors with the homework.
Beautiful.
But when you go rogue, I think it's fun because you get so excited when you craft. And I've talked about that in my videos before. Like, I've never seen anybody so passionate and happy when they're crafting. And so I knew this would be a lot of fun.
I love to craft. Love it, love it, love it. So thank you, Jennifer.
Good. Okay, so I have a technique today that is, it's an inky technique, but it results in 2 cards. And I show something that's fun for large images that you normally would color, but don't want to take the time to color because I'm not I'm not great at that coloring thing. And then also a fun shaped card front. So my question is, should I show you the cards first, or do you guys want to just come along for the ride and play? So I'm curious. What do you think, Heidi?
That is a good question for you to be asking the audience, actually, because Jennifer asked me this question right before we went live, and she's the teacher. I don't really know the answers because I very rarely have taught. I'm just getting my feet wet. So Jennifer, if you don't mind, can we watch the chat and see if people want to see the card before we start, or if they would rather jump in feet first? Kind of, what do they say, blind?
Yeah, I love the surprise where you kind of see it as we go, but I know a lot of people like to see first. So,
show.
A lot of shows. A lot of shows. Okay. I think, you know what? I think that's probably a good idea, because if anybody wants to try to play along, you can grab similar supplies. I had put up the supplies a few days ago. This was a last minute kind of thing. In the future, if we do this again, we'll definitely put them up earlier. Okay, so let's look at the cards first. Does that work? And then we'll get started. So Heidi hasn't made these cards yet. So I'm going to switch over it so you can see the cards. And then, wait a second, I still want Heidi there. There we go. Okay, so here are the 2 cards that we're making. So it's a 2-for-1 technique, and it's hard to tell. I don't know if you can tell, but these images are like flipped. They're mirror of each other. And the way these cards open is like that. So the front of the card is shaped and they stand up on display. So you have one that's bold and one that's softer. And the neat thing about this is you can do this with other type of stamps, but I really like it with these big outline images because those would take me, at least it would take me forever to color those. So this is a great technique for that because it's really fast. Yep. And also, this is one that works great with large images. You could do this with background stamps. You could do this with really a lot of different techniques. I've done this technique or similar techniques in past videos, and I put a link to those videos in my YouTube description below if you want to check that out. But we're going to do these today, and we're going to start by doing these 2 flowers. All right? Now, these cards, somebody asked if they will fit in an A2 envelope. So this white panel in the background is A2. So you could trim the excess off so it fits an A2 envelope. I chose to leave it hanging off, and I'll use a 5x7 envelope. So it's up to you. You could definitely trim it, all right? And it would still have the same hinge. So I'll show you how to do that today. All right, so Heidi had homework, and I'm gonna show you, well, let's look at the stamp set first. This stamp set I think is beautiful, and I thought it worked really well for this technique. This is called Grateful Florals. I actually just put up a video yesterday where I did lots of stamping with these sentiments because I really like them. But today I'm focusing, we'll use one of the sentiments, but we're focusing on this big image here. And because I wanted to do a card front where the front is the image, I wanted something really big, and this just was perfect. Then we also have the coordinating dies for that. So I asked Heidi to do a little bit of homework, and the reason I had her do this inking that she showed you first is because you need to have this ink completely dry for this technique, and I didn't want to sit here doing a heat gun for a long time. So I asked Heidi to do some ink blending. Heidi, can you tell them what ink blending you did? Or is she heating up again?
Oh, I loved doing this ink blending.
Good.
So that's one of my, I don't know, maybe you knew that, but I love blending. So especially the positively saturated inks. So I did, per your instruction, raindrop on the top with that beautiful green. I did royal next as per Jennifer's instruction. I did iris, that nice purple there. And I did taffy on the bottom. And I left some white on purpose on the bottom. And that was all per her instructions, so I can't wait to see how this turns out. I just want to make sure she gets all the credit, because when these colors look really good together, I don't want people to say, oh, Heidi, great. Nope, no credit for me. That was all Jennifer.
Well, the reason I gave you the colors is this technique works best with darker colors, okay? It's good to start with darker inks. You could start with lighter, but then the second generation that we're going to make, it's kind of like second generation, will be super light. So the darker you can start with, the better. So this is the same as you just did. And I also did one here that this is terracotta. The middle is terracotta from Simon Says Stamp. The bottom is nutmeg, and then the top I threw in distress ink and seedless preserves. Now, what cardstock did you use, Heidi?
So I used, per your instruction, the Tim Holtz. See, I can follow directions every now and then. It's limited. My bandwidth for following instructions only lasts so long. But I used the Distress White Heavy Stock, the Tim Holtz. It is a really nice, white, thick cardstock. I mean, this is good stuff.
Yes. So the reason I asked her to use the Distress White Heavy Stock is I knew she had some too. And this is a really heavy weight. I think it's 130 pound, 120, 130 pound. It's super heavy weight. And we're going to get this paper wet today. But any heavyweight white cardstock should work for this. I don't recommend watercolor paper because it'll absorb too much of the water and it won't help with the technique. Another great option is the Simon Says Stamp 130 pound white cardstock. This is very smooth and easy to blend on, and this does work. So you could use either. I think I did Distress White Heavy Stock for this, and I did the Simon Says Stamp 130 pound for this, just to show you that you could use either. So any heavyweight white cardstock, just don't choose watercolor paper. It won't work nearly as well. As far as inks, I'm with Heidi. I love how saturated these inks are. This is a foam pad, and it comes in a lot of beautiful colors. I just got done swatching mine. So I thought it'd be fun to do a fall, but then this one is the color palette that Heidi has. As far as what inks work for this technique, any inks that react with water. So a great option is Distress ink. You could do this with Distress Oxide ink. And then Simon Says Stamp inks are wonderful for this, the saturated inks. You can also try any of your inks at home. You can test out what you've got. Let me just demonstrate real quick. And then, I'm sorry to do all the talking here, Heidi. I feel bad.
You're the teacher.
I know, but still.
I'm supposed to
this
turn
is
on
how
my
you
listening
can.
ears.
This is how you can test if your dye ink is water reactive. Put some on cardstock, and then touch water to it. And if you see it start to lighten there, you'll see it start to lighten. Then it means it's water reactive. Now I would heat set this, and you'll see it lightens. Then you know you've got an ink that will work for this. Yeah, this nutmeg ink is really pretty. It's nice, warm caramely color. But this terracotta, I love it. That's going to be my go-to for the fall this year. So you can try this with any inks that react with water. All right. But another reason I chose these inks today is because they blend really easily. I'm just going to tell you what we did. The reason we blended ahead of time, I can demonstrate it, but the reason we blended ahead of time is because this needs to be really, really, really dry, very dry. So I have a piece, I'm actually using the Simon Says Stamp 130 pound cardstock. I'm just gonna demonstrate a little bit of the blending to show you how I did this. I'll do this one. But there was a question for you, Heidi, while I do some blending. Mike, can you pull up, there was a question about where is she or something?
Oh, I'm so glad that Mike and Reed are here to help moderate, because I am terrible at reading questions while I'm watching you work and looking at the screen. I'm in Columbus, Ohio, and I am in the Simon Says Stamp studio, which is also known as Reed's office. He pulls himself out of this back section of his office. Yes. I mean, this guy is as generous as all get out. Yes.
So you're at the office, not at home.
Correct.
Okay. There you go.
I am.
So somebody was wondering where you were.
At her home.
Yeah, I'm in Cincinnati. Okay, so all I did here, Mike says he doesn't have an office. Wah, wah. All I did here to create this background, and Heidi did the same, is we did heavy ink blending. So we did Raindrop, then we did Royal, then Iris, then Taffy to get this. And the key to blending is to overlap the colors. So I would come in with the Royal next and really overlap that. The more you overlap, the better your blending is. But here's the cool thing about this technique. This technique does not need great blending. It's a very forgiving technique. So the key to this is to put as much color down as you can. You want heavy ink here. You could even go direct to paper if you wanted to, but this is not a time to do soft blending. For this technique, we want as much ink down as possible. So that's why we did it ahead of time, to save a little bit of time. So that's kind of the process. We just continued to go up. The other reason we did it ahead of time is we're going to heat set on this. And to heat emboss on this, it needs to be completely dry. I don't know if you've ever tried to heat emboss on a background you've just inked and the embossing powder sticks everywhere because it takes a little time to dry. What you could do is ink it right away and heat set it for a bit. But I didn't want the heat guns going at you all at one time. So this is really the only thing we really pre-prepped. So this we both did. When did you do yours, Heidi? Did you do it today?
I'm not telling.
She did it today. She did it today.
It's dry.
It's dry. That's all that matters. I use this heat gun like you can't believe to get it dry.
That's good.
Hold on. We have product placement.
Oh yeah. I was just using that, wasn't I? I'll use it again. So this is the Simon Says Stamp Tacky Mat, and it is a great mat for holding paper in place. What's really unique about it is there is a grid, like, oh gosh, let me see if I can. Do you see that grid on the back of it? So it helps you, so you can line things up. And then I put the acetate that's printed with black, I lined it up and I have it on the back so I can move it around. And this side has the same stick that a clear stamp would have, maybe a little bit more. So this is a great tool, and mine lives in my MISTI. So I bring it out once in a while to do some inking. So that's what that was. So I heat set this. Now, Heidi, I've got a trick for you to see if your background is ready. Do you have some clear embossing powder? I hope I told you to get that.
I'm so glad I asked you this before we started, and I was all nervous if I was going to be ready or not. So yes, I do have some clear embossing powder.
Okay, so here is a trick to know if your background is dry. Take some clear embossing powder and you can pour it on and see how it really comes off. It mostly falls off. If it were still wet, it would be sticking there a lot. So you can test it. So are we gonna see if hers is dry or not?
There we go. I'm easier.
Okay, so there is a little bit there in the middle that's sticking. So what you're gonna really wanna do is make sure you use your anti-static powder tool really well. Now she's heat setting more. There we go.
Can you guys hear me with the
It's okay.
tool?
It's okay. It's not too loud. The live stream takes that away. To a degree. Brenda asked, do you have to put the plastic back on each time? My plastic back, I keep on there because I like to be able to move it, but you definitely could take it off and leave it off. This is really easy to clean. Yeah, hers is off.
It doesn't matter. It's personal preference.
Yeah, totally. Whatever is good for you. Okay, awesome. Heidi, everybody wants to know where you got your top.
Oh gosh, the only thing I could say without being snarky is my closet. I just hold on to clothes for so long. I don't even know, I don't remember because it's been in my closet for years. Do you guys know what I mean? Do you have stuff like that?
For sure. Well, everybody likes it.
I'm glad people like it. Thank you.
Everybody likes it. Okay, now you're going to need your MISTI for this. We're going to do some stamping. And I think I'm going to do this one. This is the fall one I did, just so our cards look a little different. But really, all we did was put heavy amount of a dye ink that reacts with water onto cardstock, as heavy as we could, and made sure it was dry. Jeannie asked, what do you clean your craft tacky mat with? What do you use? I'll mention what I use too, but what do you use?
You can use anything that you would use to clean a clear stamp, like clear stamp cleaner, or a little bit of soap and water with a microfiber towel, or some people use baby wipes. I prefer just the spray that people use to clear. We have Ultra Clean Stamp Cleaner. I prefer that because it doesn't leave the residue.
I agree. I do not recommend using Stays-On Cleaner. Stays-On Cleaner is not meant to be used on clear stamps, so that's really the only ink cleaner that I think would be a problem, but it cleans easy. But keep in mind, it will stain, but that just means it's loved. All right.
Oh yeah. It's almost embarrassing if your craft supplies are clean. It means they're not used.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's, you can see a little bit of red around the edge. Some inks like red just like to stain. Okay, so this is the Grateful Florals, and you can place it however you want on here. Just make sure that it's inside the ink and not too close to the edge because we're going to die cut it out. So just make sure it's in there the best you can. The only reason I didn't have you do the white part is because we aren't going to use it. So why waste the ink, right? All right. Is everybody able to follow along okay? I'm hoping so.
You're doing great, Jennifer.
I don't clean my... What?
There's a quick question from our chat.
Oh yeah, I would love to hear it.
The sticky craft mat, is that the largest size we offer?
It is for now.
There we go. There we go. It really is it's great to have something that, because I don't need a magnet here. Sometimes I'll still use it, but you don't need to. Okay, So let me show you what to do next, Heidi. You're going to close the door on your MISTI to grab that stamp, and then make sure you're pretty generous with your anti-static powder tool, because we don't want any of this sticking. What I like to do is put too much on it and then blow away the excess. And by the way, I'm doing a giveaway at the end of this, so everybody needs to stick around, because I think some people need to do some shopping at Simon Says Stamp, right?
Oh, that's a good idea. What's the giveaway going to be, Jennifer? And by the way, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to give away a $50 gift card.
That's very nice. Well, if you're giving away a $50 gift card, can I give away a $50 gift card too?
I would love it. I would love it.
Yay!
The more the merrier. All right. So did you use your anti-static powder tool again on there?
No.
Okay. Close the door, grab the stamp, and then use the anti-static powder tool on there. You want to make sure it's very
super
anti-sticky.
I can't believe people are watching me do this. This is like ultra nerve-wracking. You do this all the time, Jennifer? This is like, do you have to take blood pressure medicine?
I'm nervous teaching somebody, because if I didn't tell you all the supplies, you're going to be like, wait, I don't have that. And then I just blew the whole line. So I'm hoping I did it.
Well, we've got a warehouse here. We can figure it out.
Okay. Yeah, I figured Reed could run fast, right?
I was going to say, if you give me enough time, I can get down there and get you whatever you need.
Okay, so now we're going to ink up this stamp with a clear embossing ink. I have Versamark. Do you have the Simon Says Stamp clear embossing? I don't have that, so I can't use it.
Boy, we have to send you some re-inkers and some clear ink.
Yes, yes. My taffy, it has been loved. My taffy ink, that's the one that does this top pink color. It's well loved around here. Let's just say that. Okay, so you're going to ink this up the best you can with a clear embossing ink. I do recommend clear for this technique. Clear ink, clear embossing. That's key for this particular technique. So once you have inked it, you can stamp it down. And I'm doing kind of like the CPR that Tim says not to do. He always says not to do CPR, but this is a big stamp. So I'm kind of pressing all over.
I'm like nervous.
Don't be nervous. Let's see. Do you put the stamp mat in the MISTI by itself? Will the stamps make a good impression? Yes. So when let me just stamp this. Let me make sure I got a decent, I'm going to do a little more in the center. My ink pad is pretty dry. So Heidi, if you look in the, tilt it in the light and you see there's any places it didn't stamp, just go ahead and repeat stamp. So this mat is the only thing. So you know how the MISTI has a mat in it? Like it comes with like a mouse pad, or it comes with something, I think a mouse pad or a pad of some sort. Just take that out. The only thing I have in here is the tacky mat. Same with her. Your tacky mat's in there, but without the black grid behind it. So we're using the same thing. So you just take it out?
No, I took mine out so that people could see it both ways. I just went ahead and did mine old school, so you're using the mat and then I'm using the old school way.
Gotcha. Okay,
I had too much stuff going on with my fingers and the embossing powder all over. I made a mess.
I get it. So yes, this is in place of what normally is in the MISTI. It's the only thing in there. And it's great. It's just, it's nice to have that in there, because see, we didn't need a magnet. Okay, so now you need that clear embossing powder, and we'll cover up our clear ink with the clear embossing powder. Now my tip when applying embossing powder is watch how Heidi does it. She'll take the jar and she'll pour it all over. It really is best to hold your paper flat like this and pour the powder on and then knock it off, because if you just go like this, it doesn't grab as much. So it's really good to pour it on and then tilt it to knock off the excess. And you can rotate it and just make sure you get clear embossing ink over the whole thing.
I hope people don't think I'm just doing this to sell more embossing powder, because this is really just how I do it. You recycle the embossing powder that comes off.
You can. Now all you have to do is kind of funnel that back in, or give it to Reed. He can do the funneling back into.
I'm doing.
Yeah, Reed's the cleanup crew over here. I'm
I
like
understand.
a 4-year-old
She's
sometimes.
doing great though. Kept it all on the black paper.
Yeah.
You're helping me out.
You did good.
Thank you. You're doing great too.
You're doing awesome. Okay, so now we'll heat set this. So it'll get a little bit loud as I heat set, but I'll try to do it under the table. Mike, are there any other questions? Heidi, I'm obsessed with trying to answer questions as I create, so I'm sorry if
Great.
that.
No, I'm glad you're paying attention because it's hard for me to do more than one thing at a time.
Oh, the top colors on Heidi's, it was Raindrop for like the greenish blue. The blue was Royal, then Iris, and then Taffy was the pink. Now Taffy, or you can use any dye inks you want for this that react with water, but I do recommend darker shades. It will just make for a more impressive technique. And Nancy, there's a question, or Nancy's got a question for you, Heidi. Will there be a tag kit this year?
Oh, Stephanie's in the chat. I saw her. Stephanie has been working hard putting together a tag kit for everyone this year. And it is
good.
delightful. We've had a lot of testing going on in her office to make sure everything works. So
Good.
I'm going to be quiet for a second because I think that watching embossing powder melt is especially satisfying. Can you guys see?
There you go. Oh. I'll do mine up here. So mine's all done here. Okay, sure, it's all heat set. Isn't that pretty? Oh, you want to know my colors? Okay, my colors are. I threw in a distress ink too because I love the seedless preserves blended with like a orangey or a peach color. So I did seedless preserves, terracotta, and nutmeg. Any dark colors, this is kind of light, but it'll be fine. Any dark colors heavily applied is your best bet. Carrie asked, can you leave the ink wet on this without embossing for watermark effect? Yes, you can. But for the technique we're doing, you definitely will want to clear heat emboss because now we're going to do the fun technique. And this is where we cross our fingers that it works, right? All right, so are you tilting yours in the light, making sure it's completely heat set, Heidi? I'm having some little areas that were, looks like it is. There we go. All right. Brenda asked, will all the Simon Says Stamp positively saturated inks be available in cubes?
Maybe. Yes. Yeah, we have another set of cubes coming out with our next release. So yep. We're gradually bringing them out. I'm telling you though, if you guys are ink blending, you're gonna get. I get frustrated with the cubes. Everybody's asking for the cubes, but if you're gonna be using ink blending, you're gonna be pulling a lot of ink out of that pad, and you want a big pad. I'm an ink blender, man. I like the big mamas, and I'm not trying to sell you more big ink pads. I'm just telling you, it will make your life a lot less stressful if you use the big mamas. If you're a ink blender, if you're just wanting a bunch of colors I'll be quiet now. I'm not a teacher. I'm a talker.
No. That's good. That's good. I think it's very important to note that like years ago, we didn't ink blend, right? So a cube would last us a long time with stamping. But now that we do a lot of ink blending and using with stencils, I feel like a full pad is a best option. But I know everybody has different preferences. So I agree with you. Good point. All right.
Thank you.
Now, Heidi, I think I asked you to have another piece of heavyweight white cardstock.
Yep, what size?
I hope I did. This one is the 8.5 by 5.5. So basically this was one full sheet and we just cut it down the center.
Yep, you did
Awesome.
ask me.
Awesome. And then you need some tape. We're gonna create a hinge so this opens like a book. All right, so I'm putting tape like this. I just hold it and I put.
You didn't hear that.
Heidi is so here's the thing. Heidi is really smart, And my guess is in college, you did things last minute and you still nailed it in college because you're so smart. And I think that's what you're doing here too.
That was so long ago, I can't even remember.
It's true. It's true. So I'm putting tape along one side. I do 2 pieces. And so this is exposed tape right here. And then I put the other one on it. So they're taped along the back so that you can fold it. Okay? Or another thing you could do is just flip it over and put the tape on the seams. Whatever works for you. So it
I already
opens like
cut the white off my bottom, so mine is already
That's
looking
fine.
different from Jennifer's. Okay.
It doesn't, it's all good. So another thing we could have done, but it was just more complicated and we were tighter on space, is you could have just kept a full piece of paper and folded it and ink up one side. There's several ways to do it, but I think this works best. Okay, so now you'll need a die cut machine. Any die cut machine you want, you can grab whatever you have. What do you have today?
Can you hear that?
The intercut.
I've got the Gina intercut. I like that I can modify the temperature of I mean, they're sold out everywhere, so I probably shouldn't talk too much about it.
I know.
But I like being able to make it tighter or not when I start switching in between embossing folders and dies.
Yeah, I really like it, and I can't wait till it's back in stock too. I've got mine right here by my feet. So any die cut machine will work for this, all right? We are going to spray this with water, close it up, and then run it through our die cut machine, pretending that there was a die there, but there's not. So I do a little trick here. I only want this side to get wet. I don't want this side to get wet. You could, but I think it's best if you don't. So I have a little trick, and I don't know if you have one of these handy, but I have my Simon Says stamp guides here, which folks have seen me use in videos. These are great for finding the center point of your card and lining things up in your MISTI. But I'm just taking one of these and blocking off that side so it doesn't get wet. You could really use a scrap piece of paper, whatever you want. These are handy and they're always right next to me.
Look what I have.
Look at that. I love it. Did I put it on the list?
You did. Thank you.
Oh, good.
You had it on the list.
So basically, I'm just doing that so this side doesn't get wet, but it could if you wanted to. And then you need your spray bottle. Now, any mist bottle would be great. I mean, you can see mine it's old and well loved. This is the Ranger Mister. And it just has plain old water in it. All right. Now, here's the thing. You don't want to mist this just a little because it won't work well, but you don't want to over mist so that it squeezes water out. So I tend to go a little bit less than what I need and then repeat the process. So I'll take this and I'll mist it. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, that looks good. And you'll kind of see the water is on top, but it's also starting to absorb. That's about what you want. So I'm going to go ahead and you do yours, and I'm going to take mine and close it, and I'll put it between my cutting plates, just like I would a piece of paper and a die. So close it up and put it in between your cutting plates. I'm using the Empress because it's right here by my side, and run it through.
Oh, this is nerve-wracking. I
know it
practice
is.
any of this. I hope everybody who's watching live knows I did not practice any. I did not know this was
Nope.
the technique. This is cool. Okay, but I'm nervous.
I am
Okay,
too,
so
trust
cranking
me.
it.
This is where I say a little prayer that it's going to work.
I love it.
I'm having a great time.
What happened, Heidi?
What?
Did she do something? Did you mess it up?
No, she's laughing at you. He's laughing at you
Oh,
laughing.
at me.
It's so cute.
I did a little jumping up and down.
You're doing great.
All right.
Oh, thank God it worked.
Did it? Oh, look at that. Yes.
Is
And
that
we're going to
what
do it
it's supposed
again.
to do? Should I run it through
Yes.
again?
We're going to do it again. So what's happening is the ink that got wet over here, when we closed it, transferred over here, but that heat embossing left it white because the heat embossing over here kind of blocked the ink from transferring.
Jennifer
So you can
McGuire,
repeat
you're
it.
a genius.
No, I've just done this way too long. So I do recommend using that thing to block it off. Mine's wet, so I'm wiping it on my dress. Don't tell anybody. I'm going to lay it down there, and you can repeat. So yours, if you can see those areas that are white, I would put, kind of focus your water there. So it's good. You can see how it's good to start with less because you can repeat the process. Less water and then repeat it and run it through again. But as far as what machine, any die cut machine will work for this. Just use it as, pretend you were putting a piece of cardstock and a wafer thin die through. It's the same sandwich. All it's doing is putting pressure.
I want to know in the chat, can I ask a question and have people reply?
Oh, absolutely.
I think I have every die cutting machine because I've been doing this for a long time. Plus, this is my career. This is my job. I like to try everything that we sell. Is there anybody else in the chat who has more than one die cutting machine? Or is it just people like me and Jennifer who do this for a career? Does anybody in the chat have more than one die cutting machine? Am I the only die cutting machine collector in the house?
If one is good, two is better, right?
And three is amazing. And I won't even say about the 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Ta-da!
Yes.
Oh,
see?
this is fun.
Isn't that pretty?
A good idea. That's great. Yes.
Now you could repeat the process if you wanted to, but I think it looks cool. So one side looks lighter now. Be careful taking your tape off because it's wet. It might tear a little bit, but really it doesn't matter. So what happened is all that dark ink over here transferred, but notice, you see how the outline is darker? See how dark it is? Because we trapped the dark ink under the heat embossing. So you get the dark outline, and then everything else lightened around it because it transferred over to this side. All right? So you can see the two. Look at yours. Well done. Look at that.
Thank you, teacher.
Isn't that fun?
Yes.
Yay, yay, yay. All right, so now I am going...
Hold on, Vanessa Cohn has 4 die cutters, and so does the person after her, Shelly G. You're not alone.
Somebody has 5.
Kat Lexell's got 5. See?
Oh, Sherry has 6. Go, Sherry. I'm with you.
They all do different things too. They're all
they
a little
do
different. Some are electric, some are crank.
For electric, I like that Empress, and for manual, the Gina K Intricut is so good. It makes, you don't have to figure out the sandwich, right? You can just dial it instead and use the same plates for everything. Okay, so now we're gonna set this one, the lighter one aside, and we'll take the bigger one. We do need to, unfortunately, dry this a little bit. So you're going to hear our heat guns go. I'm sorry that that's part of the process, but I will try to answer some questions while we heat set this. We just need it to dry. If you had time, you could always just let it dry on its own. All right, I'm going to answer their question about Reed. Oh, Vivian wants to know if Reed crafts. That's a good one.
I make rugs. So I do not as much plug making, but I make rugs, like rug tufting. So that's where my
No way.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
awesome. And Reed is newly married. He's a newlywed. Very exciting. And apologize to the wife for us taking you away on a Sunday.
Oh, you did.
All right, sorry for the heat gun noise, all. I'm sorry. All right. I think this is good. Oh, somebody asked, which came first, Simon Says Stamp or Jennifer McGuire ink? What year did you start, Simon, Heidi?
2002.
I think Heidi came first. But we didn't meet each other till years later. But it's been a long time, maybe 20 years?
Yeah, I mean, Simon wouldn't be what we are today without Jennifer. I mean, I don't even think, I just want to make sure we give credit where credit is due. If, whether we were first or not, I think it's because we work so well together that we've both been able to get this far and do all these great things.
Well, and I wouldn't be able to make this a career. I'd still be suffering through engineering if it weren't for you. So makes a
And
good
I was
pair,
a food
right?
broker. Yeah, I was a food broker.
Isn't
You all
it
gotta
weird
eat,
how?
but
All right, so now we're going to die cut this out using the coordinating die. Now you could, if you don't have a coordinating die, just trim it down and leave it as is. But I think it's nice to die cut that out because we're going to do that fun card front. So we'll just line up the die. Carol, thank you for the super chat. Thank you, thank you. All right, I'll run this through.
what's a super chat?
It's people can, it's kind of like a tip while you're watching. And it goes through YouTube.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I watch
Okay.
Harvard lawyer Lee, who is now lawyer Lee on YouTube, and she introduced me to that during one of those crime trials.
Oh, yeah.
See, I'm like Lydia in my free time. I watched a trial. Wait a minute,
I'll
can't
text
find
you
my
about
die.
a good one I just watched. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? This is great for fall.
Oh, there it is.
All right.
What happens if my thing isn't dry all the way?
It should be fine. You should be able
Okay.
to still die cut it. It
Okay.
should be okay.
The heat tools are amazing. They make your life. If you're impatient like I am, you have to have a heat tool.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those must-haves. Like, when they ask you those questions, if you were on an island, I don't care if I didn't have electricity, I don't know. I still think you need a heat tool. Get one of those don't they have those big battery things now that last you for
Yeah.
like 4 years?
There you go.
Solar-powered battery packs.
This is the older one. Which one are you using? Mine is old. I don't think they make this anymore. Same one.
Yeah. The Wagner.
Yeah, I just haven't replaced it. They have a new, smaller version now.
Well, they last forever. I mean, these
They
things
do.
are great.
Yeah.
I think for drying paint, the Ranger tool is better, but for embossing,
Yeah.
and drying like wet ink, I like this Wagner.
All right. Now, we're going to let this one just dry on its own a bit, and we'll finish off this card. So after you have yours die cut, we can... Where did I put my stuff? Oh, here it is. You have your other
Jennifer?
homework. Yeah.
They would like to know what colors you use on your what color combination
My
you're
nails?
blending.
Oh,
That,
okay.
your nails,
The-
and well, that was asked earlier too. Yeah.
Yes, that was asked. Okay, so the colors that I did were terracotta, nutmeg, and seedless preserves.
Thank you.
And
I got
so
to talking and didn't run my dye all the way through the machine.
that's
Sorry.
okay. But on these, the cards that are completed, I used the same that Heidi used. I just thought it'd be fun for you all to look at different color combinations with us.
Oh, Jennifer, that's pretty.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Even
That's
the
gorgeous.
leftover is gorgeous.
Yeah, yep. So another fun thing that you could do, I don't know where I put mine. Oh, I put it down here. Okay. Another thing you could do is die cut a few extras of these like this and glue it behind it and then glue it back into the opening so that the flowers are popped up and just have a card front that way. Lots
Oh.
of things you could do with it.
Is that why you wanted me to die cut extras?
Yep. Well, no, this, also this right here, you could trim this down and stamp into the negative. Anyways, lots of things you can do. Now we're gonna make a card front. So you'll need one extra die cut from white cardstock. There we go. Okay, and then you need one piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch cardstock. I recommend, again, anything heavyweight would work great for this. We're gonna stamp on this bad boy here. All right. Now you don't have to. You could skip this if you wanted to. But I thought it'd be fun to stamp on the background. So see how there's the background is stamped? That's what we're gonna do next. I'm gonna show you a little trick that I did, if I can remember what it is. I remember preparing this and thinking it was a good trick, but who knows if I'll remember.
Quick question for
Brenda
Heidi.
asked, oh, what?
I think we're gonna ask the same thing, so you go ahead.
Oh, Brenda asked, how did we meet, Heidi? We would go to,
Man.
a lot of the Collins shows, we just would see each other. At the Gilman shows, remember those?
Oh yeah, but I don't remember the first time.
Yeah, I don't remember the
mean-
first time either. Yeah,
We
we
were
would
on
just
a circuit.
yeah,
so
and
to
then we
speak.
just started to hang out with each other. And I remember the first time you came to Cincinnati, and we like spent some time together. Abby was a baby.
Oh my gosh, she was a newborn.
And she was like,
yeah.
She was the easiest baby. I was blown away. I think I was pregnant with Lila at the time. Anyway, time flies. All right, so I have a trick for you. Now the stamp that we're both using here, we work really well together, and Heidi is one of the most generous people I know, so I love working with her. The stamp that we're using is the Simon Says stamp Just Because. This was from, I think, your Stamptember release, wasn't it, at the beginning of the month?
Yes, ma'am.
I love this. I love it. And you could even stamp it and just cut out like these sentiment strips. And so you have all these different little sentiments you could use. But we're going to use it for a background. Now let me show you a little trick that I like to do. I have my tacky mat in here. So Heidi, I would put your tacky mat in if you don't mind, because this is a trick that works great with
What if I
the
have
tacky
embossing powder on it? Will it ruin anything?
No, it should be fine. What you can do later is run it underwater
Yeah.
or use a baby wipe.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
That'll be fine. And then put your white cardstock, this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, right in the middle. Just anywhere in the middle. I mean, it doesn't really matter. But you know what? You know what? I'm going to put mine, I'll put mine so it's the corner of the 5 by 7. That's where yours is too. Good. So put it right there. All right. So we got that there. Now,
No
I can see
magnet
everything.
needed.
No magnet. So now take your guide here. You've got the smaller guide. This is the one I use a lot in videos.
Not the one you dried on your dress, but the other one?
No, yeah, the smaller one.
Okay.
And the
teasing
nice
you.
thing, no, it's all good. The nice thing is I can put this on top, right? I'm just laying it over. It doesn't matter how. It's just to protect that white paper underneath. And see how the guide sticks onto the mat around it? Just to cover it. This is just going to help us line up our stamp.
Oh, now
Yep.
I know why you're doing all this.
Yep.
Oh, you clever girl.
So now you can take your clear stamp. If you want it straight, you can, but I chose to put mine at a bit of an angle. So I just make sure it kind of goes up to the corner here and the corner down there, and I put it at an angle, but you don't have to. You could put yours straight if you want. But the reason I put that clear placement guide, I think that's what they're called. That reason I put that there is when I close this and pick up this clear stamp, the paper won't go with it. Also, this stamp is inky. It's kind of dirty because I don't clean my stamps well, and I won't get ink on my white cardstock until I'm ready to stamp. There we go, the Positively Perfect Placement Guide. So it comes in the 2 smaller that you have there, and then it also comes in the 2 bigger, which we used before. And these are great. Somebody in the comments said they can't live without these. They're nice and thick, really thick.
Made
All right,
here in the USA.
Ah, good. So you can line up your stamp. So I have one of those on top of the white cardstock. You can line up your stamp on it however you want. Straight, crooked, whatever you want.
Well, okay.
Going straight? All right. Now you close the door on your stamping tool, and this will pick up that guide, but your white cardstock will still be where it was. And now you can take that guide off. It should.
Oh!
So this didn't stick to the stamp when we closed it, and we didn't lose our position. Because if we didn't have that there and I closed this stamp might pick this up and we lose our position. And also, if you have any ink on here while you're fiddling with the placement, you might get some ink where you don't want it. So it's another handy thing to do with this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and so now I'm going to remove it.
There you go. Yep. So now you can ink up, Heidi, I I used a light pink ink or a heather ink. You could use either. Let me see which ones. Which inks did I mention to you?
I have a bubble gum that I think would be okay.
Yes, bubblegum, that's the light pink. Yep, so you can stamp that. Something soft. This is the bubblegum here. You don't want it too distracting. I think I'll use peachy. I think that might, no, you know what? I think let's see. Yeah, I think I'll use peachy. No, I'm gonna use melon.
We're like those little old ladies that are like, did that happen on Tuesday or Wednesday? That's me. Remember our grandmas used to do that? Well, we are now our grandmas.
We are. I was trying to think of what I had for dinner 2 nights ago, and I'm like, there is no way I will remember. No idea. All right, so I'm stamping with melon because my colors are different than hers. She's using bubblegum. And this we're just doing a light ink because we don't want it to be too distracting, but you could do whatever you want here. Anything you want. It just adds a little interest to the card. There we go.
Well, I'm also discovering that the white background is better for camera, so you can tell I'm a novice.
That's okay. We're all, honey,
you watching. Do people really want to see what I'm doing, or does it matter?
Yes, they want to see. I think people want to see. Now, here's the thing. You run a very wonderful, crafty business that keeps us all happy, so it's okay. It doesn't matter if your background's not white. You got your thing. I just do this every once in a while, so it's all good.
Did you already stamp yours?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm behind. Sorry.
It's totally okay. Yes, they do want to see you craft. So.
Okay. I'm going to put a little more pink. That's the beauty of the Misty.
Yes, totally. And the nice thing about these inks is they'll kind of soften and dry into the paper and give you great results. So this is what Heidi's using. So you can see how it'll soften to this. Awesome. All right. You can leave your stamp in here. All right. Leave your stamp in there. And now
take out
we need
my card? Okay.
Yep. Now you'll need a scoreboard. Believe it or not, we're close to being done with this first card. This is the other fun technique.
Thank you to all the people that are watching us do this.
Yes.
We couldn't do this without you. Thank you.
Yes. We would just be sitting here talking to ourselves. That's the way it goes. All right. Pam asked, why is your matte black and Heidi's clear? Okay. So this tacky matte comes with a clear acetate that has black printing on it. And she's using hers without that. See how it's clear? That's what it comes with. I just stuck mine on the back. You can use it either way. Either way. All right, so next up we need a scoreboard. All right. Now what we're going to do is make the card front like this. So we need to have a little hinge up here, and we're going to do that with our scoreboard. Now, you want to kind of look at this. It's kind of hard. You can actually take your pretty floral, and just line it up with an extra white die cut. Let me move this out of the way. Just kind of hold it there. Just so you can kind of play around with how you want this positioned. I did mine so that this leafy thing is hanging off the top, and then this guy here touches the bottom. You're not gluing anything down, you're just laying it on there. So lay it on your background.
Wait.
Your stamped
on my
background.
Grab it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry, that's okay.
Okay.
I'm not explaining it well. So you're gonna lay it down. The only reason I put this here is so you can kind of play around and visualize where it's gonna be. Because you could put this many different ways. You could have it here and have it open this way. You could have it like mine, which opens this way. So I'm gonna do it like my card, just so you guys know, we'll see where it's going. And I'm just gonna lay this down. There'll be something hanging off the top here. And then this bottom leaf is touching the bottom of our background. So by having this hanging off the top, we'll be able to create a hinge. And by having this lined up with the bottom here, it'll be able to stand. Does that make sense?
It does to me.
Good, good, good. So we can set this aside. We just need the white one right now, but I just used it to get the placement. So the bottom tip here lines up at the bottom, and then these, you want something hanging off the top because that's where we're going to create our hinge. So I'm going to hold these together like this. So you'll hold these together. They're not glued. Just hold them and bring it over to your scoreboard and put it up against the side of the scoreboard like that. And this is the edge that's hanging off up here. Does that make sense? So now, let's see. Nope, you rotate yours. Rotate it. There we go. So put the little tip down on the edge and the base, the bottom of your card panel on the edge. Yep, there you go. Now I'm going to score right along that last score groove here. It's basically, I'm scoring right along the top of the cardstock. I'm just putting scores lines at these two little pieces that stick off the top. So right along there. Yep. You just want to make sure, so you're scoring right along where the top of your cardstock background is. Yes, Simon has free US shipping for orders over $25. Information's in the description. Thank you for doing that, Heidi. So generous.
Happy to be able to do it. It's because we have so many great Stamptember sponsors that we're able to do it.
What's a stamp set?
Which stamp?
Set.
The floral stamp set is called Grateful Florals. All right, so now we have this. And you have these score lines up here. That's the hinge. So now you need whatever adhesive you trust to be very, that will hold things together. You want something strong here. I'm going to use Gina K Connect liquid adhesive, but you could use whatever adhesive you want. So there you got Connect too. Okay, good. So now just fold back along those little hinges. Just kind of work them a little bit, but it'll get folded back. Kind of work them a little bit. All right. So let's see. You fold them the other way, back. There you go. Got it. Those little hinges are going to hook onto the top of our card panel. Does that make sense? So see how the hinges line up there? There you go. So now we have these two little pieces up here that hang off the edge. So just line it up, kind of hook it on. There you go. And then you can flip it.
Student is nerve-wracking.
I know, I'm sorry.
In a class. No, it's special. It's special to be the only student, but then you forget all the eyes are on you.
Yeah, you got it. Now flip it over, holding it in that position, and then put some strong adhesive on these little flaps. And just wrap them around. So I flayed them flat, put adhesive on them, and then roll them down. So they're glued to the back like that. So that's creating our hinge. I'm not going to open and close it right now because it's still drying. Yeah. And if you want to, if you are worried, like maybe somebody out there is worried that their adhesive isn't strong enough. Heidi, you don't need to do this, but I was just going to mention, if you're worried your adhesive isn't strong enough, just take a piece of tape and put it over those little hinges to hold it there. So that's how our card will open and close. Now I think I asked you to make another 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece. Do you have another one? Awesome. So now this one we're going to glue here so that we sandwich this between. And it just makes our card stronger. So we're just going to glue a piece of cardstock the same size so that's sandwiched between, because we don't like the look of that. So you could skip this if you wanted, but I think it's nice to cover it up. And then just glue it right on top. So now you have your card base. Yes, Diane, there's free US shipping with orders of $25 or more for a limited time. And then there is, I think, $7.99 off international shipping. Is that right, Heidi?
Yeah, good memory. Yep. And you use the code 799 to get $7.99 off international shipping.
Great. And I think the code for US shipping is
FRSHP.
FRSHP.
Yes.
Yay. Thank you for doing that, Heidi. You're awesome.
Oh my gosh,
so
people
there.
are still watching, Jennifer. Look. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you.
Yeah. I told you that people want to see you craft. All right. And I didn't give you much opportunity to go rogue with this. Sorry. Next time we'll do
That's
something
okay.
you can go rogue on. All right, now we can take this and glue it on top. And I'm choosing to leave this hanging off the top here and on the sides, but you could trim it off if you want. So now just what I'm doing is around on this white die cut, around the edges, I'm putting some liquid adhesive. So all around. You could use tape runner for this if you wanted to. But make sure you go all the way up to the top there. So I'll hold mine up so you can see where the glue is. But just make sure you go up to the top. Kelly said, we don't quit. They're not going to quit watching. So,
Thanks for watching, Kelly.
Lynn, you mentioned you don't have this stamp. Any large image would work great if you want to do this kind of where the image is the card front. Simon has a lot of great large florals like this. That would be great. All right, so now we can just take this and line it up. And again, it's going to hang off the sides because it's such a big image. But if you don't want that, all you need to do is cut it off. You can cut off all the sides. But what I plan to do is leave it hanging off because I love that look. And then just use a 5x7 envelope. Now this, because it was wet, it wants to curl, so I just put my MISTI on top of it. And it'll give it some time to dry.
Good tip.
All right, so that's the first one. We can add the sentiment at the end, but I have a trick to show you for the second one because the second one's a mirror image and we need to die cut it, and that's not straightforward. So I'm going to show that next. So we'll set this aside with something heavy on it. So you can just put your MISTI on it. All right, now.
Don't stand on your MISTI.
No. I've stepped on one once and I
was
broke
tempted.
the hinge. Yeah.
Yeah, don't stand on your MISTI.
Okay, so now we have this one, and mine's pretty dry. How's yours?
Oh yeah, mine's pretty dry too.
Good. Now, here's the thing. With the technique we did, remember how we squished images together? That results in this being a mirror image. So this will not line up, right? Because we got a mirror image. So I could line it up upside down, but that doesn't do me any good, right? So I think I put on your supply list that you need a cell phone with a flashlight. Did you get that?
Yeah, that was suspicious.
You were wondering. Well, yeah, I know. Turn the flashlight on. Yeah. And I'm going to cover it, but I have my flashlight on here. I'll put my paper over it. Any flashlight would work. I just figured you would have this. Now what we're going to do is hold the flashlight, hold the die behind our paper. So you want to kind of just look at it to kind of get it oriented, right? So I've got it kind of oriented here with the cutting edges facing up. And you're going to put this behind and use your flashlight to try to line it up. So I can see through, I'm not sure if you can tell, but I can see through this because of the flashlight. Can you see there? I can see the white outline on the front of the paper and I can see my die behind it. So I know it's lined up there. So the flashlight's behind the cardstock. Can you see through yours? You might have to hold it together and get it close.
Oh,
yeah, see it through there? And then you can
great
go,
trick.
so I'm holding that top corner, that top leaf, and then I'm going to go down to the bottom, so the opposite side of the image. And while I'm holding this, I'm just going to wiggle it a little bit to get this bottom leaf lined up.
Oh.
And you can kind of move it around and see that it's lined
Can
up.
you guys even see this on camera? This is cool. What a
So it's
great
like a
idea.
light box. If you have a light box, you could definitely use that. I don't know if you can see. Can you see? I think you can see. The key is to get it really close to the light. So once you think you have it lined up, hold it together, flip it over and tape it there with a little bit of temporary tape. Sorry for the flashlight, go. All right, so it takes a little getting used to, but it works. So if you ever do kind of a mirror technique, which actually I'm doing with an upcoming Stamptember collab, I'm doing a mirror technique, and I think you'll love it, Heidi. And this is a trick for using the die to cut it out. So now I have it taped back there. Let me just check it again. Moved a little bit, so I'm going to move it back a bit. You can shift it if it moved on you when you flipped it over. So you can check it. There we go. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right. Yeah, light box would be great. I don't have a light box. Lila has one. I could have stolen hers. All right, so you can kind of look around and see that it's lined up. Is yours lined up?
I think so.
Awesome. And if it doesn't, it's okay. You'll still get the gist of it, right? We used a really heavyweight cardstock. If we had used a lighter weight, it would have been easier to see through. Another thing you can do is hold it up to the light. Let me make sure mine didn't shift again. My tape, I didn't do a good job with my tape. I apologize. Good enough, good enough. What does Gina say? Better than horrible. Then you run it through your die cut machine. So if you use a lighter weight cardstock, it's easier to see through, but we needed it to be heavyweight because we used water with it. All right, let's see if we got it lined up. I'm not sure if I did it. Oh, I did good enough. Yeah. Yeah, I used Easy C tape, but any tape would work. And there we've got it cut out. And remember, this is like whenever you try something for the first time, if you don't get it just right, it's practice for the next time. It looks like you got it too. Look at that.
It's a
Look
miracle.
at that. No, it's not.
It's a Christmas miracle. Gonna take my tape off of here. It's holding everything together.
Quick question for Heidi. What were the Stamptember collaborations for today?
Oh, they were
My
cute.
days are all running together. Was it?
Do you want me to go get them?
Picket fence.
Studios and Clearly Besotted.
Do we even have any left?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Waffle
Hang on.
flour yesterday. I know Jennifer was using a lot of the waffle flour.
Let's see. Oh, I went nuts with that. Hang on, I'm finding it. Clearly Besotted and Picket Fence. Okay, I found them so I can show them, Heidi.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank you. You're organized.
No, Mike's organized. Okay, so this is the Clearly Besotted. Isn't that cute? Look at that little guy. Oh, I love him. Their images are always so happy. And then here is the Picket Fence. Look at that guy. He's cute. So those are today's collabs.
He's happy too.
Yeah, he's happy too. And I like this Odasho dancer little message. That's great. Oh, and the roof. That's great too. Anyways, those are the collabs for today. All right. So now we have this, and we can create our card front in the same way, the same technique. So do you want to do this, or do you want to continue? Are you good, Heidi?
Oh yeah, I'm
Okay,
good.
good. I didn't know if you
Did I slow get my stuff out?
Nope. The only reason I asked is because I didn't talk to you ahead of time about how long we can go. So I wasn't sure. So, I tend to go long, but we're actually in the home stretch because we did the hard technique. So that trick with the flashlight allows you to cut out mirror images. And you may notice that when you cut, you know how when you die cut the back is more kind of jagged? If you wanted to flatten this, what I don't think it's bad, but if yours is kind of curled up and you don't like the finished edge because we cut from the back side, you could take a folded piece of printer paper, put this in a folded piece of printer paper, put it through the die cut machine, and it will flatten it. But mine seems okay. How's yours?
Mine's okay too. It's nice thick cardstock. It's easy to undo.
Yeah. All right, so now we're going to go back to the just because, and we'll stamp on the background here. And I'm going to put mine down in here, and I'm just going to keep looking until I'm happy with where it's placed. I remember last time I put it in this 5x7 corner, so I'm going to go there, make sure it works. Yep, there we go. So you can use the same color or switch. It's totally up to you. I'm going to use the same color because I really like that melon. I thought that melon was really pretty. Where did my other card go? I swear everything runs away. So I'm going to ink on this. And you don't have to do this step. You could leave this plain white, but I like this background stamp. I used it in a video, but I wanted to be sure to use it again soon. Somebody asked what the picket fence stamp name is. It's called Dancer Delivers Christmas. And you said they're still in stock?
Yep.
That's great.
Do you guys like our new noon? This year we're revealing all the collabs at noon every day.
I love it.
Are people happy about that? Because we used to do it at midnight.
Well, let us know in the comments.
I like it 'cause
Why
I don't
are
have
you
to
laughing,
get up.
Jennifer? Do you miss midnight?
Absolutely not. No, I was laughing because Mike likes it because we would stay up till midnight every night, and mommy needs sleep. Man, I struggle. Yeah, Lori said she's a school teacher, and so she could never stay up that late. So she likes noon. Yeah, it looks like
Okay, Lori,
everybody
we like
likes
noon
it.
too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, is it
Reed
better
likes
for you
noon,
all?
too.
it's amazing.
I agree.
That's my favorite thing in the world.
I agree. I'm with you, Reed. I won't tell your wife you said that because, you know, she should be, right?
Context. Oh, man.
I'm getting you in trouble, huh?
Already?
I know. That's what we do. All right, so Heidi, you'll need your other white die cut. Do you have another one?
Yep.
All right. Now this time, when we do the hinge thing, you want to make sure this is upside down because remember, this die cut is upside down. So make sure you have this upside down. And then you can line it up just to help get the placement how you want it. And I'll show you mine here if you want to do the same. So again, I'm placing it so the bottom of the die cut lines up with the bottom of the cardstock. That just allows us to make our card stand. And then we have some hanging off the edge up here. Maybe I'll tilt it more. Maybe I'll go that way, yeah. So that's the position I chose. But you can do whatever you want. Does that work? All right, once you're happy, you can remove this die cut, just hold that white one in place, and pick it all up together and go to your scoreboard. Heidi gets quiet when she's crafting.
What's that?
Jennifer, this is hard.
I know, I should have picked something
I have
easier.
to
I'm
remember what
sorry.
we just did a minute ago.
Oh, you're good. No, grab you need your background attached to it, holding it with your background, because we're going to score it. There you go. There you go, perfect. Is this lined up kind of on the bottom here? Yep. So put it in there, and we're going to score along the top there. This is the Simon Says Stamp scoring board, and I like it. It's nice and compact.
Oh, good.
Oh.
It's affordable too. I wanted
Yeah.
a more affordable scoring board.
Oh, and I like that. Oh, this is cool. Oops. I didn't notice that you can actually put it in there's these notches up here. So I just scored along there. But let me show folks. There's these notches where you can start your bone folder and then pull it down. And that keeps you from like skipping out of the way. Or out of the groove that you want. That's cool. That's really cool. Heidi, somebody asked, will the Tim Holtz collab be at noon?
Noon Eastern time, yes.
Yeah, okay.
But I won't say what day.
Of course not.
I think
That
Tim will
ruins the
probably
surprise.
I think we'll probably announce it in a few days, but we do like surprises.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
we also like people to be able to know, so it's a delicate balance.
It is
So
hard.
they can tune in.
Can I say it?
Okay.
No,
got a
Mike.
full
Mike
beat.
just said, "Can he say?" And no, he's joking. He won't say. He won't.
Mike,
So
you're
fold that back.
mischievous.
He is. He is. He gets into trouble texting with Kathy Zilski. They tell a lot of jokes. All right, so now just hook that on the top. And then you can flip it over to put the glue on those flaps. So another nice thing about, another nice thing about this technique we did is you're getting to do this process twice, and the more you do a process, the better. All right, so
I like
flip that
imprints
over.
in your brain.
Yeah. Yep. What brand is the scoring board? The scoreboard is Simon Says Stamp. And then on the back, it's got for creating envelopes. And then it's got a size chart. It's nice. It's nice and lightweight, thin, affordable. There you go. All right. Now, last thing for this one, and then we can add our sentiments and we're good. One more piece of cardstock just to sandwich that. Now you could leave it. That's totally up to you. The scoreboard is made by Simon Says Stamp. So Simon Says Stamp, Heidi, why don't you explain it? You sell other brands and you have your own brand. Do you want to explain that? We
want to be a one-stop shop. So if you have something you want us to carry, be sure you let us know, whether it's on social media or you email us. We want to make sure we have what you need so you don't have to go all over the place to get your supplies, because I used to do that back in the day and it drove me a little bit wacky. But we also have a Simon branded products. So we're crafters and we fine tune things sometimes, or we buy something in a volume so we can put it in a kit, or we find something we want to do that's not on the market yet, like this, the perfect guides we were doing, the Positively Perfect guides a little bit ago. So we do have our own brand too.
Yep.
We have in-house illustrators who design and draw stamps and other products. Oh my gosh, did I do that backwards? No, I didn't. Okay, good. Okay.
Nope. You're good. You got it. Now we can put glue on the front. You've got some great designers. Wonderful designers. I keep getting clogged. I don't know why I'm getting clogged today. I think I left it open overnight. Have you ever done that with your glue? Oh.
Have I? Oh my gosh. All the time. Yeah.
That's the way it goes. So again, this technique can work with water reactive inks and bold colors. The reason I chose the Simon is really like the bold colors that they have, but they also have the soft colors that go with it that I used on the backgrounds, and Heidi used on the backgrounds too. So it's just a good, I really like it for blending. Really like it for blending. There we go. So again, if you don't want it to go in a bigger envelope, see, I'll show you my 5x7 envelopes here. These, you can get 5x7 envelopes over at Simon. If you don't want to use a 5x7 envelope, you can trim off the excess and put it into a regular envelope. Like I've got, this is a regular envelope. You could trim the excess off. But I love things hanging off the edge. Do you?
Oh yeah.
I think it's fun.
Things that are wonky and yes.
And you can't buy that at the grocery store, right? They don't sell them like that. They're extra special because they're handmade, a little bit different.
With personality, yes.
With personality.
Jennifer, you're doing a great job. You've got stamina. I love how these two cards turned out, and they're opposite of each other, but the technique was similar. So now I feel like I could do it again on my own without your guidance. That'll be my challenge.
Yours looks beautiful.
Very pretty.
I think you did awesome. Now here's the thing.
You.
I sadly chose a card design that didn't give you an opportunity to go rogue. Next time I need to do that. So you can get playful.
Yet, but okay. Sorry, I was bending on the ground, smushing down my cards, making sure they stayed flat.
So
okay.
I had asked you to cut out some sentiments just so we didn't have to take the time to do that in the video, but you could go rogue and use different sentiments if you want to. I was using the sentiments from the same stamp set because I thought they're beautiful. And I actually had a bunch of these done because remember, I don't know if you saw my video from yesterday, I went crazy die cutting. I showed a trick on how to die cut, stamp and die cut a bunch of sentiments at once. And I had these ready to go. So I really like these. So I chose Grateful for You. I just felt it looked nice on these. But I'm going to do Autumn Blessings on one of mine because I use these autumn colors. Now what I like to do is to cut two extra from plain cardstock and glue it behind so it has some added dimension, but you don't have to do that. You could just glue it flat on there and you can put it wherever you want. I'll let you go rogue. You can put it anywhere you want.
Okay, but I have another question for the audience.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Absolutely not. Go ahead.
What you're doing is stacking. So I stacked my Grateful with one other behind it, and then we cut out these extra. And I was a doubter back in the day. I'm like, why are all these crazy crafters cutting the same die cutout 4 or 5 times? And then I started doing it myself, and boy, is it a nice touch. So I'm curious, asking the audience, have you guys ever tried stacking? You know what we mean by stacking? It's what we're doing here. Just gluing, layering to have a nice thick stack for your sentiment. Do other people that watch us do that too? Or is that just something that, I don't know.
The first few people say, I love this stacked look. Another reason to stack is like if you use foam tape, it can sometimes get crushed in the mail. This won't get crushed, right? So, but
exactly.
Heidi, if you haven't seen my video from yesterday, I don't know where all those sentiments are. I think they're in the other room. But I used the Waffle Flower collab, and I used these, and I made a bunch of sentiments. One of the recommendations that I do is, say when you have a stamp set, like this one here. I don't know about you, but I transfer mine into stamp pockets, like we have here. These are the Simon Says stamp pockets. So this backing I don't keep. And instead of throwing it away, I die cut my extra dies from this. My extra die cuts, and those are the ones that go behind here to get stacked. Does that make sense? So use your recycled material. Use your recycled material. Because nobody's going to see it. So I think they're by the camera. Mike's going to go get them. So that just, it's a way to use up. You could use, like recycled cereal packaging, any kind of packaging. It will add, instead of it going to waste. All right. So you can glue yours wherever you want. Foam tape. Go for it. Now here's the thing. Did you stack yours?
I did, and I'm foaming them.
Now here's the thing. Because you stacked them, it's strong. So putting foam tape behind it will hold up in the mail then. Because it's so strong, it won't get squished with the foam tape. So even if you use foam tape, I recommend stacking. So you'll be good.
I love these. These stack sentiments make all the beautiful finishing touch. Love it. Oh, but we're not done yet. I know there's another item on the supply list.
Yes.
Oh.
All right, now you're ahead of me. Look at that. I think I'm going to put mine.
Because I'm excited about what's to come.
Okay.
Does anybody know what those are?
They are the gems. These are the best gems. I've been using these so much. I need to get more. My jar's getting a little low. These are called Clear Positively Dazzling Gems. Now, the reason I like these is there's extra glisten to them. See how they really glisten a lot? And they've got these big mama ones included. I love the big mama ones. So that's what I'm going to add onto here. And by the way,
diamonds.
Heidi, here's all my sentiments from that video yesterday.
Oh, those are wonderful. Oh,
and I used a few different sets of yours. So I just grabbed one from here. So these are all stacked already. See, notice the back, that's packaging that I die cut to stack. So just a little tip, don't throw things away. All right, so now we can do that. Oh, look at this cute little one. Okay.
So when I was little and young and naive, although I'm probably a little naive still, these dazzling gems remind me. I went outside to play in the snow with my sister, and we were collecting handfuls of what we thought were diamonds in the street. I think I was probably 4 or 5 years old.
Oh no!
And we lived in a cul-de-sac. It was salt. We brought them to my parents because we thought we found diamonds. Aww. I mean, we were so convinced that we found diamonds. I mean, we were really little, but it was really an idyllic childhood.
That's awesome.
And now we have dazzling gems.
So I actually have a story about finding things in the street. When I was growing up, my friends and I found tons of coins, not as good as diamonds, but tons of coins in like the gutter, tons of them. And we were so excited. And we went and took it home and to show our mom and figure out what to do. And when we went back to show them where we found them, there was more. Turns out the old man that lived there just thought it was sweet to have us find that. And so he would just put them out there up by Heather up the street. Yep. So I'm using, I know, isn't that sweet? So I'm using one of your tools here. You have a different one than me, don't you?
I have the one with the wax.
And I have the one that's
two.
just got the sticky tip. Yep.
Yeah,
These
there's
are
a
great.
silicone tip and then there's the wax. It's really personal preference. And then
Totally.
they have other tips too. I love the pokey one. That's probably my most used, but I'm using wax because I was using something a little bit different than you are.
Yeah. This one's a good one. So this allows you to pick up your little gems. Sometimes you have to flip them over. And you can just scatter these however you want. I like that the Big Mama one is included in here. The reason I like the Big Mama is like this is a big open kind of area. So I feel like a bigger gem kind of fits there better. And it has the other sizes too. So what I normally do is put two kind of close together, bigger ones close together, and then a small one kind of out its own. And then I do the same thing above, and sometimes I'll add another one somewhere, but it kind of gives like this flow. But really, I don't think you can go wrong with placement. You can do whatever you want. I think I'm actually going to put another one. What?
I mean, I love adding the gems at the end.
Me too.
And you can also, these are clear, so if you have Copic or alcohol markers, you can color them to be a different color if you wanted them to be a different color.
Yeah, you could color these to match. I'll put some on here. I do have
I
one
love these. Thank you, Jennifer. What do you guys think? Should Jennifer think about doing this teaching gig someday? I think she's pretty good at it.
One thing I forgot is our place to write a message on the inside. I just have a circle die cut, and I just put it here and with liquid glue to make sure it's hidden behind it, and that's where I'll write my personal sentiment. I just used it's like a 2.5-inch circle, and we'll put that on the inside as a place to write our message. Make sure it's behind there. Yep. There we go. Now we're done. 1.5 hours for 2 cards. I don't think that's bad. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, I love making cards. I could do this all day, all night. Thank you. I hope that our people who watch know that, especially on rewatch, they can pause the video and go grab some of the supplies, and they could make along with us. They don't need the same supplies. They could use something similar. And I hope people take the time to really enjoy and feel, the joy of getting to make.
Yep.
Oops.
And then you got to give it too. You got to give the cards, right? And the nice thing about this,
Jennifer.
Some people don't like to give their cards. They want to keep one. Well, here you have 2. So you can give one and keep one. There we go.
Yay. So I think we were going to do, speaking of giving,
Giveaway.
give $50 gift cards. So is Mike going to tell us who's getting your $50 gift card?
Yeah, and Reed will pick.
Yeah, Reed's going to pick yours, and Mike's picking mine.
We'll pick from our channel. You pick from your channel.
Since we're on 2 channels, we will. Let's see.
I got
We
a name
will.
ready when you guys are ready.
Okay,
I'm gonna
so
switch
why
back
don't you announce yours, Heidi? Who's the winner of your $50 gift card?
Oh, you already had it sitting here, Reed.
Oh yeah, I'm quick with it.
These people at Simon Says Stamp, they're something else.
You hire the best.
Very well
You
prepared.
do.
Kelly Lenart, Lenart, and she's got the name Art in her name. So how perfect. So Kelly Lenart, we are sending you a $50 gift card. You just need to email Reed, REED, at simonsaystamp.com. Only email him if you're looking for a gift card, ladies. He is now a married man in his 3 weeks and counting. He's a newlywed.
Wow.
Oh, Dana. Hey, thank you, Dana, for sharing Reed with us again on a Sunday during Stamptember. We appreciate it.
She's here.
Dana's a lovely bride.
Good.
So, Kelly, you're our winner. And then, Jennifer, I think you can do yours.
So I'm donating a $50 gift card to Simon Says Stamp too. Mike, who's my winner?
Jan Butler.
Jan Butler is my winner. So you can email me through my website and we will get you a gift card sent. Yay.
Aw, thank you. Jennifer,
That's
thank
fun
you.
to do.
I love my cards. They're a little damp from the glue, but I'm going to hold them up. Thank you.
I love it.
The stacking sentiments
like
makes
it
a
up there.
big
That's cool.
difference. I hope we see a lot of people stacking their sentiments. It's just
Yep.
a great impact, especially for the holidays.
And I'm sorry there wasn't much rogue time there and it was a lot in one card, but I wanted to teach a lot of things.
It was
like that
Rogue Grand
sentiment.
Finale.
Oh,
My
okay.
gems were all over. My sentiment was all over. It was
Perfect.
fun to get to do this. Thank you.
Good. And now
And
you
we
can
had
go
all these
make
people-
more. Yeah.
Live. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Were there any questions, Reed, that we should wrap up with on our channel?
It's up to you if you want to answer. They want a sneak peek for tomorrow. You can choose how to handle that.
I don't think
There'll
I
be a
have a
reveal
sneak
at
peek
noon.
for tomorrow. Do I have a sneak peek?
You do not have a sneak peek.
Yeah, I don't have a sneak peek for tomorrow. Sorry, guys. I've got all this crafting gear on Reed's desk, so there's no sneak peek for tomorrow.
It is going to be extra special, though. So I hope they're ready for it. That's all we're going to say. We're going to keep
Extra special, noon Eastern time.
Yeah. I can't even remember what it is. I don't know. I can't give a sneak peek either. Let's see. Were there any other questions? Heidi, are you going to, well, Vivian wants to know if you're going to go live with Tim.
That's up to you.
For the stamp timber. Uh-oh.
I don't know if Tim and I agreed if we were going to talk about it or not yet.
Well, you know what?
Maybe we are.
Maybe.
I plead the fifth.
You can choose not to answer questions.
I'm just torn because I want to answer it. Okay. Stay
I'll change the
tuned.
subject. I'll change the subject.
I don't want to let the cat out of the bag without Tim's approval because, you know,
get
he's
that.
such an important part of it. It's, you know, I'm a terrible secret keeper. I mean, you could probably guess. Okay,
It's a
Jennifer,
good
did
one,
you
though.
have questions on yours? Yes.
No, I think most of the questions we kind of answered. Somebody asked, will the gems make impressions on the envelope when mailed? They will. Something that you can do is like, you know how I told you to use the packaging for the stacked? You know, the clear? You can cut that down to card size, lay it on the front of your card, and then put it in an envelope. And that bit of clear packaging will keep the gems from tearing the envelope. Does that make sense? And then also Simon Says Stamp sells padded envelopes. I know some of your padded envelopes are like pink that would match your card perfectly. So that's another option too.
Pretty colors for, yes. We sell the padded envelopes. I think I call them bubble mailers, but they're the same thing. They're padded, so they're 6x9. They fit all these cards would go through the mail with them with ease.
Absolutely. Wonderful.
Yeah, I would make
think
you know what? Judy Davison is mentioning about me being a poker player. I have to tell you something. I am actually a good poker player. And my dad, who is a poker, has played poker with his friends for a long time, laughs because I get excited no matter what cards I have. So he says nobody can, I'm excited no matter what. So I have played with him before. We went to Vegas many years ago, and before poker was this is probably 20 years ago, before poker was as big as it is now. And I was in a tournament and I got pretty far in the tournament, and he just laughs because I just am so happy about whatever. And I'm in like every hand because I can't bear to sit out, which is actually a bad poker player. But if you get lucky and get good cards, it can take you. But poker is a complicated game. I know that's not why you guys all came here. I'm sorry. I like to play poker too.
No, this just shows that you get, I love your energy about things. Like you have this energy about crafting, energy about all the different things that you do. I think that's a good thing. It's a good thing. We like it.
Thank you. Thank you. And thanks to everybody for watching and joining us live. Jennifer, thank you for inviting me to do this. I hope we get to do it again. And for getting the supply list for me. And I had no idea how to make what we were doing today. And I learned a lot of new things. So thank you.
Yeah. I'm glad you did this. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me for so long. And thank you, Reed, for being here, and Mike. So it's a fun way to spend a Sunday afternoon.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
well, I think we can bid adieu.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Love you, Heidi. Thanks all
I
for
love
watching.
you too. Thank you
Bye-bye.
guys. Bye-bye.